The world is a stage, and grifters are masters of illusion. They are skilled manipulators, weaving intricate webs of deceit to separate unsuspecting individuals from their money, possessions, or even their identities. Grifting, in essence, is a form of confidence trickery where the perpetrator gains the victim's trust to exploit them for personal gain. It's a dance of deception, often subtle and insidious, leaving victims feeling foolish and betrayed. Legally, grifting can manifest in various forms, from petty scams to elaborate financial schemes. While specific laws vary by jurisdiction, most legal systems recognize grifting under broader categories like fraud, larceny, or false pretenses. The severity of the crime and corresponding punishment often depend on the amount of money or property stolen and the sophistication of the scheme. Regardless of the specific tactic, grifters rely on a deep understanding of human psychology. They are keen observers of behavior, adept at identifying vulnerabilities and exploiting emotional triggers. They know how to build rapport, establish trust, and then leverage that trust for their own benefit. Their success hinges on the ability to blend in, appearing charming, trustworthy, and even helpful, all while concealing their true intentions. Why do people fall for grifts? It's easy to dismiss victims as gullible or naive, but the reality is far more complex. Grifting preys on universal human desires and weaknesses, making anyone a potential target under the right circumstances. We all crave connection, belonging, and the promise of a better future. Grifters understand this innate human longing and exploit it to their advantage. One key factor is our inherent trust in others. As social creatures, we are wired to believe in the good intentions of those around us. This natural inclination towards trust, while essential for building relationships, also makes us vulnerable to manipulation. Grifters capitalize on this inherent trust, using charm and charisma to disarm their victims and create a false sense of security. Furthermore, grifters often appeal to our desire for easy solutions and quick rewards. They dangle the allure of effortless gain, be it financial wealth, romantic success, or social status. This promise of something for nothing can be intoxicating, clouding judgment and making individuals more susceptible to risky propositions. In the heat of the moment, driven by excitement or desperation, individuals may overlook red flags or fail to question inconsistencies that would otherwise raise suspicion. The emotional roller coaster of a well-executed grift can further cloud judgment. Victims often experience a mix of excitement, hope, and even fear, making it difficult to think clearly and rationally. This emotional vulnerability creates a fertile ground for manipulation, allowing the grifter to maintain control and further their scheme. Grifting schemes are as varied as the grifters themselves, often evolving with the times and adapting to new technologies and social trends. As technology advances, so do the methods employed by these con artists. From the early days of simple confidence tricks to the sophisticated cyber scams of today, grifters have always found ways to exploit the latest tools at their disposal. The internet in particular has opened up a whole new world of opportunities for these criminals, allowing them to reach a global audience with minimal effort. However, despite their diversity, most grifts share some common threads, relying on psychological manipulation and exploiting universal human weaknesses. These schemes often prey on emotions such as greed, fear, and loneliness. By understanding the psychological tactics used by grifters, we can better protect ourselves from falling victim to their schemes. For instance, many scams involve creating a sense of urgency, making the victim feel that they must act quickly or miss out on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This pressure can cloud judgment and lead to hasty decisions. Understanding these common schemes is the first step towards protecting yourself and your loved ones from becoming victims. Educating yourself about the various types of scams and the warning signs to look out for can make a significant difference. It's also important to have open conversations with family members, especially the elderly, who are often targeted by these schemes. By staying informed and vigilant, we can reduce the risk of falling prey to these deceptive tactics. One of the most prevalent schemes is the advance fee or Nigerian prince scam, where the victim is promised a large sum of money in exchange for a small upfront payment. This scam has been around for decades, yet it continues to claim new victims. The scammer typically poses as a foreign dignitary or wealthy individual who needs help transferring a large sum of money out of their country. In return for the victim's assistance, they promise a generous reward. However, once the victim sends the initial payment, the scammer disappears, leaving the victim with nothing. The scammer might pose as a wealthy individual, a lottery official, or even a government agency, spinning a tale of unexpected fortune and leveraging the victim's greed or desperation. These stories are often elaborate and convincing, designed to build trust and make the victim believe they are on the verge of a life-changing windfall. The scammer may even provide fake documents or official-looking correspondence to lend credibility to their story. Unfortunately, once the victim has been hooked, the scammer will continue to ask for more money, each time with a new excuse or complication. Of course, the promised riches never materialize, and the victim is left with nothing but an empty wallet and a sense of betrayal. The emotional toll of such scams can be devastating, leaving victims feeling embarrassed and ashamed. It's important to remember that anyone can fall for these schemes, and the blame lies solely with the scammer. By sharing our experiences and raising awareness, we can help others avoid similar pitfalls. Another common tactic is the pigeon drop, where the grifter convinces the victim to put up their own money as a show of good faith in a seemingly lucrative opportunity. This scam often involves a staged scenario where the grifter pretends to find a large sum of money or valuable item and offers to share it with the victim. However, they insist that the victim first provide a sum of money to prove their trustworthiness. Once the victim hands over the cash, the grifter disappears, leaving the victim with nothing. The grifter exploits the victim's trust and desire for easy money, ultimately disappearing with the funds once they have gained control. These schemes often rely on the victim's willingness to believe in the possibility of a quick and easy financial gain. By playing on this desire, the grifter can manipulate the victim into making irrational decisions. It's crucial to remain skeptical of any opportunity that seems too good to be true, and to thoroughly research any investment or financial proposition before committing any money. Romance scams are also on the rise, particularly with the proliferation of online dating platforms. These scams can be particularly insidious as they exploit the victim's emotions and desire for companionship. The scammer creates a fake profile, often using stolen photos and identities, and begins to build a relationship with the victim. They may spend weeks or even months gaining the victim's trust and affection before making their move. Requests for money might be framed as helping a loved one in need, investing in a joint venture, or covering travel expenses to finally meet in person. The scammer may create elaborate stories to justify their request, often playing on the victim's emotions and sense of compassion. It's important to be cautious when forming online relationships and to be wary of anyone who asks for money, especially if you have never met them in person. By staying vigilant and informed, we can protect ourselves and our loved ones from falling victim to these heartless schemes. The Ponzi scheme, named after the infamous early 20th century swindler Charles Ponzi, stands as a testament to the seductive power of greed and the devastating consequences of financial deception. This scheme, often disguised as a legitimate investment opportunity, operates on a simple yet effective principle: robbing Peter to pay Paul. The con artist behind a Ponzi scheme will lure investors with promises of high returns with little to no risk. Initial investors are often paid their promised returns using funds from newer investors, creating an illusion of success and legitimacy. This, in turn, attracts more investors, fueling the scheme's growth and the con artist's ill-gotten gains. However, the fundamental flaw of a Ponzi scheme is its unsustainability. With no real profits or assets backing the promised returns, the scheme is destined to collapse as soon as the flow of new investors dries up, or when a significant number of investors attempt to withdraw their money simultaneously. When the inevitable collapse occurs, it leaves a trail of devastation, wiping out the savings of countless individuals and families. The Bernie Madoff scandal, one of the largest financial frauds in US history, serves as a stark reminder of the devastating impact of Ponzi schemes. Madoff, a seemingly reputable financier, ran his scheme for almost 2 decades, defrauding investors of an estimated $65 billion. The scheme's collapse in 2008, triggered by the global financial crisis, shattered the lives of countless individuals, including charities, universities, and pension funds.